Every decade, we seem to have this what were they thinking moment, like shag carpets, barn doors, the all grey trend. The funny part is, everyone thought they looked amazing at the time. Everything looked flawless online, but living with it is another story. Social media has sped trends up so fast, it is harder than ever to tell what is timeless and what will look dated by next year. So today, I'll show you 8 red flags that almost guarantee a trend won't last, and the 3 pillars that make a design truly timeless. There's 3 ways to spot a bad trend: the practicality test, the authenticity test, and the context test. First is the practicality test. If something isn't practical, it won't last. They usually show up in one of 3 ways. It ignores how people actually live, it is a nightmare to maintain, or it is just plain unhygienic. Design has to work for people, not the other way around. When something looks great but feels awful, it is not going to last. Those exposed farmhouse pendants you see in every kitchen and dining area are the perfect example. They look trendy, but without a shade, the light was so blinding it made dinner feel like an interrogation. And then there's the barn door trend, which looks charming until you try it on in a bathroom. It doesn't seal properly, offers zero sound privacy, and leaves you wishing for a real door. It's one of those ideas that photographs beautifully and lives terribly. And of course, the floating staircase. They're gorgeous, minimalist, but mildly terrifying. If a design makes everyday life harder, it is not going to be timeless. Many trends look effortless online, but only because it is photographed before anyone lived in the house. Open shelving is a great example. It is beautiful for 5 minutes, then it is a dust magnet. Bowl-shaped vessel sinks fall into the same trap. The narrow gap between the basin and the counter is so annoying to clean. It is one of those details that look beautiful for about a week, and then you start regretting it every time you reach for a cloth. And then there's the freestanding tub tucked into a corner of a small bathroom. It is stunning, sure, but good luck cleaning behind it. But sometimes, the juice is worth the squeeze. So if something brings you joy, then go for it. You just have to consider if it is worth the extra effort or if it works for your lifestyle. Then there are the trends that aren't just high maintenance, they're just downright unhygienic. Tile countertops are a perfect example. They might look charming in styled kitchens, but all those grout lines? Not exactly a match made in heaven with raw chicken. You can scrub them all you like, but that porous surface never really feels clean. Now, to help you avoid common design traps, I put together a free decorating mistakes and design checklist for your home. It covers 15 of the most common design mistakes, plus quick designer fixes to make your home feel more timeless. Next is the authenticity test. Some trends just feel fake or forced from the start, and those never last. Social media loves novelty, but real homes need longevity. What trends online can turn into years of regret in real life. Luckily, the warning signs are easy to spot. They're usually made of cheap or faux materials, built around a gimmick, or it's something that has failed before. The difference between good and bad materials isn't subtle, you can feel it. Think of those DIY foam mirrors that were everywhere for a year. They looked playful and sculptural, but once the novelty faded, the foam started crumbling, and most of them ended up in the landfill. Compare that to real timber, brass, or stone. These materials age well and develop character over time. When something is well made, whether it is solid joinery, real stitching, or proper finishing, it carries that quiet quality that makes it feel timeless. Cheap, disposable materials might look the part for a moment, but they're designed to fail. And when they do, they don't just look tired, they become waste. Some design trends are born purely to garner attention. They look clever, funny, or different. But that novelty wears off faster than you can say live, laugh, love. Those mass-produced signs in Hobby Lobby, they went from heartfelt to overdone in record time. Same with theme novelty pieces, like the Barbiecore wave that followed the movie launch. They're fun for a moment, but if your decor can't outlast a marketing campaign, it is not exactly timeless. Instead, try to look for pieces that have personality without screaming for attention. Interesting shapes, textures, or vintage details that still feel grounded. History is the best design teacher. Life teacher too, actually. If a trend flopped the first time, it is not magically better now. Tuscan kitchens are the perfect case study. They tried to bring Italian villa charm into suburban homes, but heavy finishes, ornate moldings, and orange tinted stone made everything feel dark and dated. So when you see a revival, ask, why didn't this work before? If the reasons still hold up, the comeback will be short-lived. Instead, borrow selectively. If you love something from a past trend, reinterpret it, don't copy it verbatim. And if you ever struggle to tell whether something will actually work in your space, check out our new tool, Room Visualizer AI. You just upload a photo of your room, choose an inspiration image or style, and it shows you a realistic preview of how your space could look. It is currently in beta and invite only, but you can join the waitlist using the link below. Even the most beautiful trend will fail if it doesn't fit the space or the lifestyle it is meant for. Context matters more than almost anything else, because no amount of trendy decor can hide a mismatch between idea and environment. The warning signs usually show up in one of two ways. It ignores the architectural context, or it demands more space than most homes have to give. Some trends look great in isolation, but fall apart when you place them in the wrong setting. Take an arched doorway. It is timeless, elegant, and used since ancient Rome and Greece. But squeeze one into a low-ceiling basement and it suddenly feels more like a cartoon set than classical architecture. The same goes for cottagecore styling in a brand new modern build. It can look forced because it doesn't nod to the home's actual architecture or era. Or take the infamous shiplap. It is perfect in a coastal cottage or farmhouse, but not so much when you force it everywhere into a suburban home. Other trends fail simply because it doesn't fit the average home. A tree in the middle of a living room might look stunning in Troye Sivan's home, but most homes don't have the soaring ceilings or natural light to pull it off. That said, you can still capture the feeling of those designs without needing a mansion. Try a tall potted plant instead of a full tree, or a beautiful pendant where a grand chandelier won't fit. So, are all trends bad? The short answer is no, they're not all bad, and you shouldn't ignore them entirely. The key is knowing how to use them. Because trends shape what is available in stores, what fabrics manufacturers produce, and even what colors you'll find when you go shopping. You can't completely avoid them, so the smarter approach is to use them intentionally, not impulsively. Because the problem isn't so much the trend itself, it is the overuse. Even timeless ideas start to feel dated when they're everywhere. Shiplap, accent walls, and gray palettes were all beautiful balanced design ideas at first. But when they spread into every room, in every home, they lost the very thing that made them appealing: restraint and context. A feature wall, for example, can look amazing when it adds focus or contrast, but when it is random, it just ruins the room. The same goes for any popular finish or color. When you use beige sparingly with contrast, it looks great, but when you slap beige into everything in the room, it becomes dated very quickly. Most of the time, the idea isn't bad, it just needs better context or application. Granite, for instance, moved from dated to classic once designers started using it a little bit more simply. It is not about what is trendy, it is about how you apply it. So instead of avoiding trends altogether, learn to apply them with purpose. Take what you love from what is current and reinterpret it in a way that fits your home and your lifestyle. That is how you make something trend-aware but still timeless. So how do you create a home that still feels timeless even as styles change? It comes down to three pillars: context, authenticity, and personal alignment. A truly timeless home respects its context, architecture, region, and even climate. A crisp black and white palette can feel elegant in a London townhouse, but it's far less suited to a bright sun-drenched home in hot Texas. In tropical climates, porcelain tiles make sense because they stay cool and handle humidity well, while in colder regions, timber floors feel grounding and warm. That is the heart of timelessness, choosing what makes sense for your environment. Once you've considered context, think about materials. Natural materials like marble, timber, linen, and leather age beautifully. They develop patina instead of wearing out. But that doesn't mean everything has to be natural. Sometimes there are practical reasons to choose manufactured materials like durability, budget, or maintenance. The key is honesty. A vinyl floor that embraces a clean, simple finish will feel far more timeless than one trying too hard to imitate busy wood grain. When materials are chosen for the right reasons, not just appearances, they tend to last. And the longer something lasts, the more sustainable it becomes, because you're not replacing it every few years. That is what makes it timeless. It is chosen with care, made to endure, and it doesn't pretend to be something it is not. Finally, the most important pillar. A home becomes timeless when it reflects you. So before buying something, ask, do I truly love this, or do I like it just because it's popular right now? Will I still love it if no one else did? And can I see myself enjoying it 5 years from now? If the answer is yes, it is definitely worth considering. Sometimes you'll see something and feel that instant, this belongs with me reaction, and that is your cue. And remember, we're all influenced by what is trending. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how it makes you feel. If a color, shape, or texture brings you joy, it is the right choice. Sure, you might get tired of a bright red armchair one day, but at least it was your bright red armchair. You could just as easily grow tired of a sensible gray one. The difference is that the red one meant something to you. That said, it is always smart to play it safer with permanent finishes, things like flooring, tiles, or cabinetry, since they're harder to change. Save your bolder choices for decor, paint, or furniture where you can have fun experimenting without long-term regret. And if you ever do move on from it, honestly, that is fine. If it made you happy while you had it, it has already done its job. That is what makes it timeless, because it was true to you in that moment. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video on the 12 mistakes that make your home look cheap, and this video on what makes a home look expensive. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.